characters. We're trying to push it past the silhouette. I want some kind of a samurai character. And something I've done, just like, so it's not out of the blue, yeah, is I kind of just Googled historical samurai armor. I love the idea of giving the thing one of these helmets. In fact, I might even open that in a new tab. The research phase is so important, and it's something that I feel like I have to, which is fine. I probably was the same when teachers were teaching me. Um, like I have to remind students over and over, like, dude, take a minute and look at pictures. Like it will fill your brain with ideas, and you don't always even realize it. Let's see. If he's kind of looking off to the side, I kind of like that angle, and I sort of like that helmet more. I'm going to deposit that at the bottom of the page with the rest of my reference. And it looks like I have a collection of stuff. This must be from last semester because I have some like AI generated stuff, and I didn't know about that until like October of last year. So cool. All right, so I've got this silhouette. I don't know what I want to do with this guy yet. In fact, I might do a couple different things. So I'm actually going to come over here and I'm going to duplicate that layer and just kind of, I'll just call it sil backup because it's a silhouette and it's a backup. And I'm going to start drawing some stuff over the top of it. I think I'm going to actually draw on a new layer. And let's pull this thing up here. I think I'll start with the helmet. The helmet's important. I want the helmet not to look stupid. Well, I mean, it's a freaking samurai turtle. It's going to look kind of stupid, but fun stupid, playful stupid, right? So I think I'm going to turn the opacity down on the silhouette a little bit just so I have a little bit better idea of how the stuff's going to look in front of it without completely getting away from the silhouette. I don't know if that makes sense, but here we go. Oh, it'd be nice if I wasn't drawing on the same layer as the thing. Okay. So they've got this like bill. It's like ball cap thing. He's got this spinny off thing. It's got some kind of a big like hood ornament wooden thing. This stuff is so cool. To me, I was in Tokyo a few years ago, and me and my wife went to, they just called it the Samurai Museum in Tokyo. And it's got like the authentic armor and stuff of Japan's most famous like samurai feudal warlords and swordsmen and stuff. I totally geeked out. I loved it. So if his eye is like right there, maybe I'll have it come in front a little bit. And something cool about these Japanese masks is they had this like, sometimes this like scary looking face mask thing that they'd buckle on to protect the face part of their head. That's a fun sentence. Weird. Okay. They had these big boxy shoulder armor things. Let's see how that's going to mess with the silhouette. We're still okay. No problem. Some kind of a breastplate's going to go on this guy. And then I don't know what kind of a bottom thing I want to do. Am I going to give him some of these hanging armor plates? At this point, let's kind of just play with the silhouette and see what happens. I still want it to look like a turtle. Maybe if I have stuff like that. And then, I don't know if you guys have watched enough anime for this, but have you seen those like mud wader sandal things that they're like square and raise the dude's feet off the ground by several inches? Kind of looks like that. Like you've got two like pegs holding the sandal up.
Oh, those.
Yeah, might be funny to put him on one of those. Maybe this will be Leonardo. I'm vaguely like trying to make this like the 80s Ninja Turtle show that I was super into. Dude, when I first started selling my art, I brought a bunch of stuff that I'd made up that were like my characters and stuff to a Comic-Con. Like I had a table. And I also brought some fan art stuff. And one of the fan art things I brought was this Ninja Turtle guy. And I swear I sold so much more fan art of the stupid Ninja Turtle thing than anything that was like original. It was kind of an eye-opener. Okay. And then, I don't know, is he like holding an enormous... He's Leonardo, so he's kind of... His thing is swords. I don't know if you're familiar with Ninja Turtles. It's a pretty old show. Let's give this canvas some more room to breathe. Frick. Big old sword. During this one of the samurai feudal eras, they had these enormous, like, kind of like the equivalent of a European greatsword. They were called uchigatanas. And the whole point of them was you'd stand on the ground, and the sword was long enough that it was kind of almost like a spear, and you'd just kind of swipe with it and try and take people off of horseback that were riding up to try and get you. Super gnarly. All right, I'll stop messing around. The silhouette phase is fun, and you can see that I just kind of want to live here for a while, but it's time to move on. So, okay, I'm going to modify that a little bit, and I'm going to group my layers. Then I'm going to hide partially some of what I'm doing. Let's move this a little bit. Now it's time to start actually trying to draw the thing in. And you can see from over here that I kind of have an idea of where I want to go. But I also want it to be different. Let's do this so you can see it. I think I'm going to start by drawing just the turtle parts, since that's someplace I've been and it's something that I want to kind of preserve. Like, I want it to still look like it's the same kind of thing as that dude on the right. So it's almost like just these flat kind of elephant feet. And he's wearing sandals. Maybe they just go on like this, like one of those dad gym sandals. Do. Get the back one poking out. And this is just a rough sketch. Like, I want to make that clear and not forget to do that. This is still just me making a pass at what the details are going to look like, and then I'll do a more detailed drawing over the top, kind of trying to get a look for what this stuff looks like for a sec. So I've got to have some kind of like a thing for the tail. I'm kind of not worrying about the armor. Now that I've decided where the armor is going to eventually go, I'm kind of forgetting that it's there for a minute so that I can try and get just the turtle anatomy part to look sort of how I want. And then I'll just draw the armor over the top of it, you know? So over here on the right, I've got this like front breastplate, almost just drawn like it's the armor. Kind of like that. And I'll connect those in a second, make them look like armor plates. I'm doing what a lot of us have the impulse to do without the groundwork, and that's just jumping in and drawing details. But I've given myself restrictions here with this silhouette that I have to kind of try and stay pretty close to. And I think it's going to pay off. Like, I'm starting to think that this is going to go okay. Sometimes it doesn't, though. That's all right. Let's see. I kind of like the idea. Have you guys seen Kung Fu Panda? I like how Oogway's fingernails are just these big, long things. Because that's what an actual sea turtle has a lot of the time. Or whatever species of sea turtle he's supposed to be. or turtle. He's not. He's a tortoise, isn't he? I don't know. Not a biologist. I just think turtles are cool. Let's see. I think it'll be cool to show the underside of that like sword guard thing. Obviously that's going to be sword stuff. Sword stuff. I'm going to break my rule a little bit and make that shell poke out and back because it looks like it might need to do this kind of a thing that I've got over here. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do that. Then that'll allow him to have his arm stick out and kind of look muscular a little bit. He's kind of buff. We'll see, though, because it's probably going to get covered by one of these, isn't it? Constantly having to think about stuff like that. And then do I have him holding something or just kind of like... We'll start simple for now. Just some kind of hand gesture that I'll flesh out more later. Muscles. Fill that in a little bit. And then his shell. Start to go over the back. His friend over there, the actual Ninja Turtle, has like a mask on. I don't know if I want to do that. Let me take a quick reminder tour and see what these things' mouths look like. Oh, cool. Dude, that's usable. Let's freaking look at that thing. I love that, like, weird old person looking neck that it has, too. Feels mean calling it weird. That's what a turtle's supposed to look like. Okay, paste, transform, flip horizontal. Just kind of get it up where I can see it. So it's kind of like a bird beak almost. Oh, come on. With slanted eyes. Alright, so now it's time to just put armor on the thing. Now that I kind of know how I want his face to look. I think I'm going to do that on a different layer too. I like to use layers. They're cool. Okay, so now, trying to remember what that samurai helmet looked like. Probably the bill is going to like come across like that. He doesn't have a human skull, so I've got to change the design of how this thing looks so that it kind of feels like it's still a samurai helmet while still making some kind of sense on this dude's head. Yeah, that could be cool. Still very rough. And then, yeah, do I want to give him the face mask thing? What does that look like again? I don't know if it's doable in a way. Man, but it's got like the fake mustache and everything. How fun would that be if I could pull that off? Yeah, it's just like a fake. All right, let's try it. So I guess if I'm just following the rules, it covers everything but the eyes, and it sort of buckles in. And it comes down here. And then instead of like just a normal face expression, it's got like some kind of gnarly, like curled demon teeth thing going on. And then mustache. Okay, that's got potential. I like that. Cool. All right. Wrinkly neck stuff because the turtle has wrinkly neck stuff. Okay, so once I get... Oh, I forgot to draw his leg. Can't do sword fighting with one leg. That'd be a cool movie, though. That sounds like a Tarantino movie. Maybe this is the foot that's down and he's just like walking. Okay, so rough sketching, still having fun. And then I guess I'll show you kind of the next step after that. I don't think anybody's going to get too much farther than this today with 3 characters. But typically what I do is I turn down the opacity a little bit temporarily on the layer I'm not thinking about, in this case, like his actual body. And then I'd start, here, let's get rid of this thing. I'd start, well, let's put it over here. I'd start looking at just how armor looks. And I'd start trying to have something close by as inspiration. Like, seriously, I look at inspiration all the time. And it ain't just me. It's like something that you're encouraged to do as a professional. So now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to try and like adapt something that kind of looks like that. I'm going to pay attention to all the little details. Like, dude, it's got these little steel plates that overlap, and it's got like these silk bands holding it together. I think I saw a documentary where this stuff was actually like super duper effective, even compared to knight armor at some things. Like, pretty gnarly. When I was a little kid, I figured knight armor from Europe was like the best thing ever, but I don't know. So I'm still just playing the rough game, kind of roughing stuff in, looking at the shapes. I'm noticing that as I go down the side of this, rather than drawing it like that, I'm going to try and mimic these plates here, because I think that'll make it easier to draw it later. And then the little details like these cool silk tassel things, I'll probably just make an indication that I want them by going like this. And then leave it alone for now. Dude, how am I going to do the other side? Maybe I just have it coming out behind the sword. Yeah, I'll do that. Probably can just leave that alone for now, honestly. All right, chest plate. So I've got this fun idea that maybe like his chest armor is just his belly. Like, he's a turtle. He's already got armor on. But maybe not. And for the sake of maybe not, I'll take a look at a couple of these breastplates I found. Also attached with like ropes and silk and stuff. Okay, cool. Maybe he's just got like something that kind of conforms to his whatever shell that kind of goes over the top of it. That's probably better because it'll distinguish him from some of the turtles that I may or may not end up drawing that have like no armor on him. And that's what I meant earlier when I said you got to think about the contrast that you create between other characters. I want this dude to stand out as the character that's got the heavy armor on, right? Maybe he's got like some kind of big like silk rope thing right there. Maybe he's got another huge sword because he's just super dangerous turtle samurai. What are you going to do? Big sword, small sword. Okay, and then in the initial thing, I had these plates here. I'm going to see if I can attach those. Those are just more hanging bands of steel attached with ropes and stuff. Probably I can just go like that. Which would mean that I cover a lot of this other shell that I drew before. But like I said, that was kind of part of the plan to potentially do that, and that's fine. It helps to kind of have the confidence of knowing that I drew it right underneath that, because then the silhouette, the character will still feel right in theory. Okay, cool. So if I hide my silhouette for a second. Never mind. One sec. Right. A fatal flaw has been... Gonna look like he's holding, I don't know, a broken sword or something. Okay. So that's starting to look like something that feels similar to this dude. But, I mean, does that feel more like an armored samurai version instead of a sneaky ninja version?